Sandbox MMA fans, you know what time it is. It is the matchmaking video for UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi. I've matched up everyone on the card with who I think they should fight next. I'm also going to talk about locations in which I think they can fight, or which specific cards, if it should be Fight Night, a pay-per-view, when, where, and I'm going to break that down. We're not going to lollygag. We're going to get right into it. So we're starting with, as this is, of course, always a PowerPoint presentation, we're starting with the prelims here on the first slide. And we're going to go right into it with the first fight. Cedric Dumas got a win. Not overly impressive, but he got a win, and he's racking a couple up now. Again, the Loic Radzhabov loss was an eye poke, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry, not Loic Radzhabov. It was Nursultan Rozaboyev. But at the end of the day, Dumas got a win. Wasn't overly impressive, but he got a win. I'm going to match him up. I think he should fight Phil Haas, the chinniest fighter of all time. Let's get Phil Haas a win, and let's make this a meme. So, Cedric Dumas, Phil Haas. I don't think Cedric Dumas took much damage. Like, he took some damage. But again, he can turn around before the end of the year. If you did a fight night early prelim, or a fight night prelim in December before the end of the year, I think that would work. Maybe January could work as well. But we're looking at about 4 to 5 months. Next up, Jai Herbert with a win over Rolando Bedoya. One of the best that he has looked so far. Definitely one of his most impressive performances. I think he should be fighting Trey Ogden. This is a fight that I could see happening in the beginning of next year, January, February, fight night, prelim. You got two guys in the lightweight division that have racked up a couple of wins recently. Jai Herbert with his most impressive win, and Trey Ogden obviously just had a win over Loic Radzhabov, and I believe had another one before that over Nicholas Mota and maybe someone else. So I think this is a good matchup to make there in the lightweight division. Fight night, prelim, January, February, somewhere around there. Jordan Vucenic, very impressive performance over Guram Kudladze, especially for taking it on short notice against such a tough opponent. Up a weight class, he did lose, but overall, I think it's something to build on. Jordan Vucenic had a great first round, an absolute masterclass of a first round, but again, the short notice caught up to him. That's really the story of what happened here. I think he should be fighting Elvis Brenner, someone who just took an L on this card, who's going to need to fight down in his ranking spot. And again, he's not ranked, so when I say it like that, I don't mean it like that. I mean someone that's going to have to fight down in the overall rankings of lightweight, someone that should be looking at someone to come up and try and make a name. Again, I think it's going to be Jordan Vucenic. I think he's the guy. I think this is a good matchup to make. They're on very similar schedules. They took very similar amount of damage. Maybe Elvis Brenner took a little bit more, but he's a very durable guy. They're both young, talented prospects, and I think this is a really, really fun fight that can be made. I'd probably pick Jordan Vucenic to win this one because I even picked him to win over Guram Kudladze. I think he's just that good. But this is a good fight to make. If you make this on a January or a December fight night, again, I don't know that Elvis Brenner is going to be able to turn around that quick, but if you did like a January, you put it on the pay-per-view card, the pay-per-view card, like UFC 311 on the prelims, this is a really nice way. Make it a featured prelim, make it a co-main of the prelims. Don't put it on the pay-per-view specifically, but if you put it on a pay-per-view card, you're going to bring eyes to Jordan Vucenic. I think it's a great way to do it. So Jordan Vucenic, Elvis Brenner, prelim headliner, prelim co-headliner in the UFC 311 pay-per-view in January. I think it's a great fight to make. Guram Kudladze obviously won the fight against Jordan Vucenic. Nasrat Haqparast just got a robbery win over Jared Gordon. I think the winner of this fight can start looking up right outside the rankings. Maybe one more fight after a win here can look at their rankings. Maybe Nasrat takes a shot at the rankings if he beats Guram. But if Guram wins here against Nasrat Haqparast, he's coming off a win against Vucenic. He's coming off a win against Nasrat. He can get one more win, and then he can start looking in that 15 to 10 range at lightweight. I think it's a good fight to make. Beginning of the year, January, maybe February. I like to see these guys turn around a little bit quicker, but again, if you can do this at January fight night, put it on the main card, everyone would watch it. It's a good fight night main card fight, because we know they just don't stack them up like that anymore. So, Guram Kudladze, Nasrat Haqparast, main card of a fight night, I think that'd be a great way to book these two. And Shamil Gaziev dominated Dontel Mays, was fat and out of shape, but, I mean, dude, I think he's pretty good. I think he's going to be perennial 8 to 15 at heavyweight. Let's give him a guy that is also going to gas out, and this is going to be a funny fight. Alexander Romanov versus Shamil Gaziev, the two most out-of-shape guys in the division, duking it out. Shamil Gaziev has skill. He can grapple. He can absolutely marauder people. And Alexander Romanov's breakable. This is a way to get Shamil Gaziev in the rankings, but also it's funny because if Shamil Gaziev loses to Alexander Romanov, it's probably going to be like a boring decision where one of them ends, or maybe one of them ends up quitting, and that's how it ends. I think this is a funny meme fight. You got two out of shape fat dudes duking it out for the number 13th ranked spot at heavyweight. This is the way to do it. Get Shamil Gaziev in the rankings, and I think Alexander Romanov is the perfect matchup for him. Kaiwe Fernandez, big win over Muhammad Yahya. Not a great opponent, but I think it's time for him to start looking up. And in the lightweight division, I think he takes on Loic Radzhabov, a guy that just lost to Trey Ogden. Kaiwe Fernandez, I bet he's looking to turn around pretty quick. Loic Radzhabov fought about a month and a half ago, I believe it was. Maybe, yeah, it was probably about a month ago. Against Trey Ogden, I think if they turn around for the end of the year, they do a December fight night card, you put this on the prelims, it's going to be a pretty fun fight to watch. Alonzo Menefield got KO'd brutally by Azamat Murzakanov. He's losing all these fights in the rankings. It's time he welcomes someone up. I think he's going to take some time off. I think he's not going to be looking to fight again until March, April of next year. Refresh that chin. He's been knocked out brutally twice in a row. A guy that I think is going to have a fight and then get the Alonzo Menefield fight, Mingyang Zhang. I think if you did Mingyang Zhang versus someone just outside the rankings, he can get a win, and then he can take a look at the rankings. Alonzo Menefield's number 15 spot, I believe it is. That's a great fight to make. It's two absolute heavy swingers. There's a chance Alonzo Menefield can win because of how wild Mingyang Zhang is, but Mingyang Zhang can also chin Alonzo Menefield. So this would be a fun, powerhouse striking fight. I'd be very interested to see how it goes. Mingyang Zhang, Alonzo Menefield, you're looking at a main card of a fight night in March, April. You can do the prelims of a pay-per-view. I think it would be a really good fight to make. Azamat Murzakanov is a monster. I want him to turn around quick, keep getting his names rocking up in the rankings. He's 35 years old. He's got to go fight soon because I think a Khalil Roundtree fight is perfect for him. And if you did this on the McGregor card, if you opened up the McGregor card with a Khalil Roundtree, Azamat Murzakanov, that builds a lot of hype. That's a great fight to put on there. And when this McGregor card comes out in what I believe will be December, I truly believe there's not going to be any title fights on there. So if you did stacked the pay-per-view with non-title fights, you can open up the card with Azamat Murzakanov versus Khalil Roundtree, and the card is going to be sick. Now, I'm going to do a 310 card builder a little bit later and a 309 card builder because 308 has already been announced. 307, most fights have already been announced, but those other ones haven't, and I'm going to build the cards for them. 308 is absolutely stacked, by the way. I'll be making a video to come out tomorrow about how stacked 308 really is. But let's get back to the topic here. It's Azamat Murzakanov, Khalil Roundtree, main card opener on the McGregor card, UFC 310 in December. This fight is a banger. It's a way to get a dangerous contender in Azamat Murzakanov to possibly go up the rankings, or Khalil Roundtree to get a good win over a guy that's going to strike with him and not try and take him down. So Khalil Roundtree, Azamat Murzakanov, that fight screams violence. Joel Alvarez had a great win over Elvis Brenner, the best that I believe he's looked. And I think it's time for a ranking spot. Weight bully versus weight bully. Jalen Turner, no shocker here. This is the fight that's got to be made. Both guys 6'3", lanky. Joel Alvarez looks like his striking has improved. I don't think it's on the level of Jalen Turner, but he has the grappling threat. Jalen Turner needs to defend this ranking spot, man. He's like 13-8 now. He's lost a couple fights in a row. I mean, I get it. He beat Bobby Green, but he lost to Hanato Moicano. He lost to Dan Hooker. He lost to Mateusz Gamrot. I think he's 1-3 in his last 4. You got to do a shot down in the rankings. He's got to fight someone outside of the rankings, and I think Joel Alvarez is the perfect guy to match him up with that deserves a shot into the rankings. So Joel Alvarez, Jalen Turner, do this. On the MSG card, prelim headliner of the MSG card, maybe on the main card, I think it would be a very fun fight. Main card opener, I'm okay with on the MSG card. Again, we're going to match make that, but if you put this in November, I know he wants to turn around for Abu Dhabi. He can definitely turn around for MSG if he wants to turn around for Abu Dhabi, but if he wants, you can put this on the prelims of Abu Dhabi, but all the main card spots are filled, and I just don't think they're going to put this as a prelim fight. Or a prelim co-headliner, because there already is a prelim headliner for Abu Dhabi, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. But I think this one has MSG screamed all over it. maybe the McGregor card, but I think you put this on a pay-per-view or you put this on the main card of a fight night in November. Totally okay with that as well. Lupi Godinez. I thought she beat Mackenzie Dern, but they didn't give her the decision. Regardless, I don't think she takes a big shot down in the rankings, something close. Luana Pinero's hot. They're going to want to keep giving her shots up the rankings, even though she's coming off losses, but I bet it's a win for Lupi possibly. And I think Lupi deserves a win. So Lupi versus Luana Pinheiro, close spots in the rankings. That's really all I got to say about it. In the strawweight division, keep fighting. One of them will get on a win streak and eventually continue to work up. Mackenzie Dern gets a decision that she does not deserve, I believe, but again, it was super close. Rematch with Amanda Ribas. This is the fight to make. You can do a rematch with a bunch of different people for Mackenzie Dern in this, but she doesn't deserve a crazy shot up. It wasn't an impressive victory. Again, she fought well against Lupi Godinez, but I just think she lost. Amanda Ribas, Mackenzie Dern. This is the fight to make. It's a rematch. I believe Ribas might have a win over Dern, or Dern already has a win, but I think this is a good fight that you can make. Tony Ferguson. I'm going to go with the path of not retirement. I want to give him a win in a retirement fight in America so he can have a crazy good send-off like Robbie Lawler had. And if we can get him a win to do so, I think the guy to beat is Clay Guida. Now, I get it. Clay Guida can wrestle, and we know Tony Ferguson doesn't have any fucking muscle in his body anymore to defend takedowns. But the Clay Guida takedowns, he chains them together very cardio-based. He's not super, super strong, I don't believe. I think he's chinny. I think you can chin him, and I think Tony will chin him. So I think Tony Ferguson versus Clay Guida, double retirement fight, and then a montage for both guys after. Make a big one for Tony Ferguson. That would be fucking awesome. And if you do this, the prelims of the McGregor card, he didn't take much damage against Chiesa. If you do the prelims of the McGregor card, this is a great way to start off the McGregor. Like if you prelim headliner, Tony Ferguson, Clay Guida, double retirement fight. This could be exactly like International Fight Week where Robbie Lawler gets a crazy good win and it puts great energy going into the main card where everyone's feeling the emotion. That's what I would like to see with this McGregor card. Tony Ferguson, Clay Guida, that's the one to make. Michael Chiesa got a win over Tony Ferguson. Again, good man, giving Tony the mic. Yeah, dude, it's just, he's not that good. I'm going to give him another welterweight contender, and Jake Matthews, I think this is a pretty decent matchup. They're at similar spots just outside the rankings. The winner can start looking at ring contendership, get on a little win streak there. Jake Matthews versus Mike Chiesa, I think it's a good one to make. You can also, I saw Nicholas Dalby was an option, which I actually don't mind at all either. But I'd like to see Jake Matthews get another win here, and then I think he can beat Mike Chiesa. But if Mike Chiesa wins, it's actually an impressive victory for him against someone that actually has muscle and can stuff takedowns. So this could be an impressive fight for either guy, whoever ends up winning, and they can start looking up just outside the top 15, maybe eventually into the top 15. Chito Vera. This is where a lot of these matchmaking things get fun because we got a little, a bantamweight show here with these four. So, before we get to the bantamweight showcase, let's just match up Shara Magomedov. I wanted Gregory Rodriguez. I think that's a really difficult fight for him, so I don't know that the UFC is going to put it in front of him. Now, he called out for 308. I don't think he's fighting on 308 because I think he's going to be a main card guy or a featured prelim guy, and those spots are taken up for 308. So, MSG card, McGregor card. If you put, I would put the Khalil Roundtree fight on the McGregor card to open it. And then if you had Shara Magomedov versus Roman Kopylov to be the next fight on that card, striker's delight. Again, Roman might go for some takedowns, but I don't think he's going to hold Shara down as easily as he held down Cesar Almeida because I think Shara's a little bit better at defending takedowns than Cesar Almeida. And Roman Kopylov wasn't doing much with those takedowns. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. And this is going to be a striker's delight. Two Dagestani strikers, really good kickers, and the winner gets a ton of hype. I don't know who I'd pick in this one yet. I like Roman Kopylov's hands a lot better. I like Shara's kicks a little bit better. But I think this is a great fight to make. And if you did this on the McGregor pay-per-view, fourth fight on the card, banger, gets everyone talking. Now let's get to the bantamweight tournament here. Chito Vera got a fight down in the rankings, got his undeserved title shot off of a win against Pedro Munoz. Before that, he lost to Corey Sandhagen, and now he just lost to Davison Figueiredo. He's got a fight down in the rankings, dude. We don't want to see him up there anymore. Kyler Phillips is fighting Rob Font. I think Kyler Phillips will beat Rob Font, and at that point, he deserves a shot up in the rankings to Chito, who will be ranked like number 6. Kyler Phillips, Chito Vera, this is an awesome fight to make. Main event of a fight night. Gives Chito 5 rounds to work. We get to see what Kyler Phillips looks like with a 5-round fight. If you can make this fight happen, it would be an absolute banger. Chito Vera, Kyler Phillips, sick fight. Kyler Phillips trains with O'Malley. Chito Vera obviously fought O'Malley. There's heat there. I think this is a good build-up. You do this in front of a crowd and I always say Texas is a good one. So if you did this in front of a crowd in Texas, if you did this in front of a crowd in Arizona, you did this in front of a crowd in Florida, Boston, this fight would be sick. Kyler Phillips versus Chito Vera, main event of a fight night in front of a crowd. Davis and Figueiredo. This fight excites me. Now, I was saying, you know what? When Aldo beats Mario Batista at Salt Lake, because he will, I trust that Jose Aldo will beat Mario Batista at Salt Lake. You can do Figgy versus Aldo, and the winner of that gets a title shot. The UFC, dude, is doing everything they can to make sure Aldo doesn't get a title shot for some reason, and it's driving me nuts. So, while I do love the idea of Aldo versus Figueiredo, if I don't see this fight in my lifetime, I'm going to be upset. And it's Petr Yan versus Davis and Figueiredo. You can make this the number 1 contenders fight as well. You can do a little bit tournament here at Bantamweight. And I think that's a whole video that I'm going to make this week as well, is what do we do at Bantamweight? I'll match everyone up at Bantamweight. Davis and Figueiredo, Petr Yan, man. This is a fight that we wanted to see for a really long time, since Figgy has been dominating flyweight, and Petr Yan was beating people up at Bantamweight. This is such a sick fight. High level, technical fight. 5 rounds, dude. This fight needs to be 5 rounds. If you made this a 5-round co-main event on a pay-per-view, if you made this a 5-round feature fight on a pay-per-view, Figueiredo versus Petr Yan needs to be 5 rounds. You can make this the main event of a fight night in front of a crowd. I mean, it would be absolutely electric. Davis and Figueiredo, Petr Yan, I don't care where the fuck you put it. Make it 5 rounds. Make it for the start of next year, the end of this year. Again, if you have the McGregor card, and I look at the McGregor card because I think this is a perfect spot for it, Davis and Figueiredo versus Petr Yan, 5-round co-main event for McGregor versus Michael Chandler, that card is going to sell insane tickets, because also on that card you're looking at Shara Magomedov versus Roman Kopylov. Also on that card you're looking at Khalil Rountree versus Azamat Mirzakhanov. It's a great way to build a card, and then all you need is a feature fight. So before we get to that, and before we make that 310 card builder, because I'm going to do it, it makes me very excited, Corey Sandhagen should fight the loser of the title fight between Merab and Sean O'Malley. And I think, guys, cat's out of the bag. Everyone knows. I think Sean O'Malley's going to win this fight. I think Sean O'Malley wins the fight. And I think Corey Sandhagen versus Merab would be the fight to make after that. This is the fight that we've wanted to see for a very, very long time. 2 perennial top contenders. Merab versus Sandhagen, 5-round main event in front of a crowd would be absolutely electric. Both guys with tremendous cardio. Obviously, Sandhagen has the better striking, but obviously Merab has the better grappling. It would be a very, very fun fight to watch. 2 high-level guys, and whoever wins this fight, again, starts getting back into title contention. Maybe they have one more win and they get into title contention again, but this is the way to do it. Sandhagen versus Merab. It's the right way to make this fight. Fight night, main event, February, make it happen. It would be fucking electric. Umar Nurmagomedov, he's going to fight the winner. I mean, I think that he should fight like Jose Aldo versus Umar Nurmagomedov. If Aldo beats Mario Batista, would be a fucking sick number 1 contenders fight. I would love that. But I know the UFC, man. They're just going to give Umar his title shot, because I also think that O'Malley can beat Umar right now. What we saw Sandhagen do against Umar, which was defend all those takedowns, that would be the only fear that I would have for O'Malley. And I think O'Malley is super legit when it comes to training. People like to give him shit, but overall I think he takes his training more serious than most people in the entire sport, maybe anyone in the entire sport. He's a good grappler. He's a very good grappler. We see him go on these grappling shows and he does very well. And I think he's going to have really good takedown defense as well. I think he knows how to work the hands. He's going to work a lot of takedown defense, and Umar can strike very well, yes. But I think Sean O'Malley's striking is levels above Corey Sandhagen, which is crazy to say. Levels above Corey Sandhagen. And he's got pop. So the shots that Sandhagen tries to land, they don't hurt Umar. O'Malley's going to throw the crazy spinning shit. He's going to throw different kinds of techniques, and he throws power. We can hurt Umar. This fight would be absolutely electric, and we get to see if, like, this is literally like Khabib Conor 2. Except if Conor was actually going to be the favorite. In my mind, Sean O'Malley's the favorite, especially if he beats Merab. But if he doesn't beat Merab, then we do Umar versus Merab, and you get to rid that man of the title, and then you get O'Malley versus Sandhagen. The winner of that gets a title shot, which will probably be O'Malley. Or you can throw Aldo in there. You got a great bantamweight thing going on here right now, where we have the chance to have legitimate contenders. But this was the matchmaking video. I hope you enjoyed it. That O'Malley-Umar fight, if O'Malley wins against Merab, which I think he will, put him on the pay-per-view against Umar in, like, again, he's fighting in September. Give him 5-6 months, February, March, pay-per-view headliner. He'll make it happen. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and let me know if you think that there are any other better matchups to be made.